Hi everyone. I don't know who want to hear this. Many is the time we run many questions in our minds. Why is it not functioning on my side? Why is it that every business I start, it doesn't end well? It fails. Why every relationship I enter, it ends with the pains? Even you go to an extent to ask yourself why every person I become friend with him, I become friend with her, he betrays me. Listen this. In Matthew chapter 1, the Bible gives us a narration on how the birth of Jesus Christ took place. And the Bible says, and now Mary was pledged to be married to Joseph. And now, before they came together, Mary was found to be pregnant. And the Bible says, and Joseph, being a righteous man, Joseph being a man that has built his relationship well with God, a man that has walked in the ways of the Lord, a man that understands himself, a man that was so mature. The Bible says, and now he planned to leave Mary quietly because he didn't want to disgrace in the public. At those moments when you could be found that you are pregnant, an illegal pregnant, of course you will be killed. So now Joseph didn't want this to happen to Mary, and the Bible says because he understood himself, he wanted to leave her quietly. But now what was so interesting is that as it was his own will to leave Mary, it was not the will of the Lord to do so, because God has already planned that for them, after the birth of Jesus Christ, they'll have other family. Listen this. And now God had to send an angel to give information to Joseph about the pregnancy. And the angel say to Joseph, do not leave her, take her as your wife. Listen, these people of the Lord, it was the will of the Lord that this relationship will not break. Many is the time our relationship is not functioning. Many is the time things that we are trying are not function. But the question is it the will of the Lord for what you are doing? Is it the will of the Lord? Is it the will of the Lord for you to be that relationship? Is it the will of the Lord for you to do that job? Is it the will of the Lord for you to do that business? For something that is not of God's will, God cannot support it. Listen this. For what is not of his will, he cannot support it. So it's unless you allow the will of God to take over. The Bible says, for it was the will of God for Joseph to go through all the pain for him to become whom he became. So many is the time we can go through the painful process. We can go through the things that even betray us. But the question is it the will of God? And for the will of God to function in your life, you must break your own will. Stop crying. Pursue the will of God. For God never disappoints. Is it the will of God? Be blessed.